Well, hello again. I'm Bob Weir with another interview of people in the news in North Texas. My guest today is Kim Cloud, owner of Cloud9 Salon and Spa, which has been in business for over 40 years, contributing in numerous ways to enhance our community. Thank you for being here, Kim.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks. Good seeing you. Thank you.
All right, let's begin by, if you would, tell our viewers where you're located and how you've been able to survive the lockdown since the pandemic.
That's a loaded question right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are currently located in Flower Mound. We've been in this building that we built 16 years ago. A couple of years ago, almost 2 years exactly, Christopher, my husband, and I were leaving Marty B's, and the land out front, had lots of trees. And I said, wouldn't the salon be really pretty right here? And wouldn't it be fun to move our existing business out here to where the girls would be frontage? They'd have the traffic of Marty B's. They'd have a growing community with Bartonville and Argyle and Lantana, and just all the huge growth that's happening out west. And so we made a phone call. The land wasn't for sale. Several years or several months later, they reached out to us and asked if we were still interested. So long story short, we bought that land,
Ah,
and we will break ground there as soon as we complete a weird little pivot where the doctors who bought our current building, they need it now. And so we'll be moving into what we're calling a pop-up location within the next probably 2 weeks. We'll be moving to Lantana. It used to be a little dance studio. It's right at Simmons and 407 next door to Anytime Fitness. So our current location is Flower Mound. Our temporary location will be Lantana for about a year while we build our dream location in Bartonville, Texas, in front of Marty B's.
wow, you're going to be next to Marty B's. That's a great place too.
Isn't it? Isn't
Oh,
it
I
fun?
like that place. And I like Marty B too. Great guy.
Yes. Isn't
Really nice
he
guy.
great at giving back to the community as
That's right.
well?
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, as are you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me get into this. What are some of the causes supported by Cloud9 Charities?
So Cloud9 Charities, Bob, you've been a big part of us and what we've done. But when we originally started Cloud9 Charities, our mission was to help other nonprofits in the community do what they do. That was our mission, like just helping others. And so they would fill out a grant application. Let's say it was communities and schools, and we would do an event and raise money and give away the money to other nonprofits. But about 10 years ago, I was watching a 60 Minutes episode where I saw a story about homeless families in a very fluent community who were kind of secretly and silently homeless, living in cars, couch hopping, things like that. But I decided to do some research and see if we even had a problem with that. And at the time, which, like I say, was 10 years ago, LISD had over 300 children listed as homeless in that school district. And then in Denton County, of course, it was a lot bigger than that. That has more than quadrupled. And so we started a program called Bedtime Rescue. So a nurse from school or a counselor from school or a police officer that comes upon a family has our direct phone number and calls us. And our job and our mission is to get that family off of the streets within an hour and in a local hotel so that they can take a moment, take a breather, get warm, get safe. And then we help them to communicate with other nonprofits in our community that help them with something long term. We've been called a Band-Aid, and that doesn't hurt our feelings at all. It's something fast. And so we have housed over 100 families for the past several years for at least a week. Sometimes they get 2 weeks. And then an interesting part that's just happened really in the past year is now we're housing a lot of veterans that were homeless. And so I love that they've discovered about Cloud9 Charities. There are other numerous organizations that help our veterans and those that are homeless. Again, if they're homeless on the street right now, we get them off quickly, get them into a local hotel, and then hook them up with other nonprofits that maybe service veterans and can help find them something more permanent. So
That's great.
families in crisis, homeless families, a battered woman, And then now veterans are who we tend to make our mission about, and to give them a safe place to go to quickly.
I remember some years ago when I first heard about these homeless kids, and
Yeah.
I was shocked. I mean, I
Yes.
couldn't even believe that they could be homeless in an area like this. I
I
mean,
know.
from nice families and all, but you take a lot of things for granted. Like, how could that happen? They have families, and yet they're out there on the street homeless, and all the things that can happen to them, and often do because they're out. They fall prey to drug traffickers and human traffickers. So, right, it is.
Well, and right now, statistics show, Bob, that everybody is like 2 to 3 major life events away from losing your home. So let's say the story on 60 Minutes. His wife died. She'd been sick for a long time. They'd spent a ton of money on medical stuff. She passes. He misses a ton of work, loses his job. But he had this work van that he conformed and had these little pull down beds, and he had a son and a daughter. She was in high school, he was in middle school, and he made it work. And they pulled up to like gas stations in the morning, and she'd go in the restroom and get ready for school. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
people think out of the box when they're in a crisis situation. And it was amazing to me how in a community that tends to do very well, we have that. And not just in pockets of Denton County that are lower income. I'm talking lots of different families are facing that. And, a couple of events can throw you into something where you can't make your house payment. Before you know it, you've lost that home. And so our phone rings a lot. And it's a phone number. We're a phone call away. We have someone that answers the phones for us. She's done it now for, 15 years. And she has all the relationships with the different hotels that have stepped up to help us. And so it costs us about $350 a week to house a family. So if someone's looking to give back, that's a simple way that they can. You can go to cloud9charities.org, and there's a donate button. You can do that, and that'll house a family quick. But then we need a lot more than that. So that's where we've started doing different events that help us raise the money to not have to say no.
Yeah, it's such a blessing to be able to help people in conditions like that, saving lives. All right, you already told us about bedtime rescue. There are many families that have been housed by them. What are some of the fundraising events that help support these causes?
So we have 2 main events that we do, lots of little things. We've got a little fun one coming up that I'll tell you about, but our 2 big ones, the big one is Best Little Brewfest in Texas. And I think this is our 7th year. I don't even know anymore, Bob, sorry. But we take over Old Town Louisville. We have lots of breweries that come to town, food trucks, live music, and you buy a ticket, and it gets you a little tasting cup, and you walk through and taste these different beers, and it's craft beer. Well, that's another industry that's been slammed. And so we're excited. That's coming up in October. Again, it looks like things will be open enough for that event to happen. It gathers, a lot of people, so we'll have to put some safety, precautions in place. But it's our biggest event. It takes over 200 volunteers to put on. And so that's another way you can help, is to kind of watch for our events and to volunteer. And then the easy one, or it's become so easy, is our golf tournament. We have it in Lantana. It's on May 10th this year. I think this is our 6th year for that. And, we've just got such a strong business backing, people that believe in our mission. And so that event sells out really quickly. And we do have some golf teams and a couple of sponsorships left for that coming up on May 10th. But yeah, we go out there and start at 9:00 in the morning, and Morris feeds everybody lunch, and Marty B feeds them breakfast, and we just have a really good time. And so the proceeds from both of those events really are the majority of funding for bedtime rescue.
Wow.
So we have a new event coming up that we're actually just going to kind of help with, but it's going to kind of reopen Bartonville. Michael Scott, that's the chef at Bartonville store, he's putting an event on May 15th, which is a Saturday, and it's a chili cook-off, and it's local chefs. Morris will be there, Marty will be there, he'll be there, like 16 chefs, I think he said. And so I think he's looking for chili judges if you're interested in that.
I,
And there'll be live music and food trucks and
I have brought chili entries to it because the Parker family in Copper Canyon does a chili cook-off.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
I always bring my chili and I never win, but but I taste some of the most wonderful chili.
Oh my gosh,
I
isn't that
love
the
it.
truth?
And I
I
love
don't know.
everybody.
Yeah, I'm judging, so we'll see how I feel about chili after tasting 16 of them. But I'm excited about that event. That's something new. It'll let Bartonville start finding out about Cloud9 and Cloud9 Charities and what we do and how important it is for us to be a part of this community and to give back. I feel like it's a responsibility of every business owner. I think if you are in a community and you're conducting business that's brought you success, you somehow should be involved. You don't got to do what I do, but you can, volunteer or donate or participate in different ways for those events. So it's a big help from local other businesses as well.
That is exactly what makes a great community, the
Mhm.
people that get involved. Kim, I understand that you've raised over $2.6 million and donated it to other nonprofit groups that share the same mission of providing housing for homeless families. You want to tell us a little more about that?
Isn't that crazy? I hear that number. I get pricklies on the back of my neck. But
Big number.
you and Nanette were a big part. We started off with the fashion show, and so we remember that y'all were
Yeah.
models for me. That was our first event, and I had gone to some chamber events. I was just starting to get involved in the community, and I was like, I need to do something where I raise money and can give it back to the community, but it would also show off Cloud9. And we did that event for 12 years and had so much fun with that. But I do think an event kind of has a life, and it started being so expensive to put that event on. But yeah, that was a big part of those funds raised back in the day. And over, 25 years now, we've been doing events for Cloud9 Charities. So that number actually might be a little bit low, but it's very important to me that we've kept that in the community. Everybody has a passion and something in their heart that they believe in. Some people want to help children in another country, or, whatever your passion is, we all have one. But for me, it's turning around and making a difference right here in this community that's been so good to me and to my children that I raised here in this community.
Exactly.
So
That's
yeah,
the way to look at it. That's right. The
yeah.
community's been good to us. This is a wonderful community. And I remember those fashion shows. They were fabulous.
Wasn't that fun?
It was
We all
fun.
had a little fun back in that day. And then we went from that to the art gala. And we
Yes,
started
that's
off
right.
doing it somewhere else. And then we started turning the salon into an art gallery. Remember, we would move all the salon equipment out
That's
for a
it.
one night show and turn it into this beautiful art gala, and people would come in
And
and
people
drink wine.
walking around with trays of wine and
Yes, and Morris would
food
do
stuff,
food.
snacks
That
and
was
beautiful arts.
That was a fun time too. We did that for about 6 or 7 years. So we've done a lot of different things. You're always looking for a unique event that would bring a lot of fun for people and bring a crowd, but also, of course, make a difference for your mission so that you can continue to
Yeah,
do it. It's like running another business. You got to bring in enough to help do what it is that you want to do, and have a strong bottom line to give back with. So I have an amazing board, Stacy that runs Bistecca, Stacy Miller. She's a good friend of mine.
yeah.
She's been the president for like a million years. We won't let her go away. And then, lots of other strong board members that are in the community. We are currently looking for about 4 new board members, just because it's been some rotating times, and we always invite people to come and join us. We meet the second Wednesday of every month at 8:30 in the morning. And so if anybody's looking and has a passion about homeless, we are looking for a couple of new board members as well.
Well, yeah, you bring back memories of some of those great times. Well, I'll tell you, those fashion shows, the wine, the wine events, the art events, fabulous. We're coming down to a close, Kim. So is there anything you'd like to add?
Sure. I would just say that, what a year. I think it's been such a learning and growing experience for so many. I know it's been tough for so many. I'm in an industry that tends to be heavy with women, single moms. We were closed a couple of months last year during COVID. Of course, several of them got, COVID over the past year and had to miss several weeks of work. It's been tough, and it's been tough for many, many businesses. And I'm just proud to be part of this community and part of this business community. One of my little side things that I do that really showed its colors during COVID when we were closed is I have fallen in love with the hemp plant and CBD and what it can do for your health naturally. And so during those weeks that we were closed, I would do some kind of video every day. I would either talk about how to style your hair at home or how to soak off your nails, or I also shared a lot during that time about CBD and how it naturally can help you with sleep and joint pain and anxiety. And I tell you, Bob, I learned a lot about business and keeping all your eggs in one basket. And that salon closed down, and it was terrifying. The bills don't stop. And so with my little side gig, we talk about that I kind of work it in the nooks and crannies of my life. That check kept coming. And so as a business person, I definitely learned a lot about how I've got to keep the doors open and know that there always can be another source and to have multiple sources of income. So I've built a team with that as well, which is my favorite thing to do, is lead people and to help them to discover better health and hopefully a great residual and additional income. So that company is called Zalise. I drive a little Jeep that they pay for, and they give me a bonus every month that I get to give away, and which is, really.
It's great to have that secondary income.
It is. You've had that in your past as
Yeah,
well, right?
I've done that too. And it's a wonderful, network marketing so is a great way to develop that second income. And I've been hearing so much about CBD oil, by the way.
Yes.
It's
I want you to try it.
people across the country I know, they're talking about it. So it looks like
Yes.
it's a really big emerging industry.
Yes.
Well, I guess we'll come to a close now. And Kim, I just want to thank you again for your selfless dedication to the needs of others. Could I have a virtual hug with you?
Oh, absolutely. I miss you. I ran into Annette not too long ago, and I got to get it. We snuck in a hug, but I would love to see you. You are near and dear to my heart. And you look great, by the way. You look fantastic.
Thank you. So do you.
Texas has done you well.
Take care, my friend. I want to see you again soon.
Yes, take care. Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.